9 Muslim superheroes across Marvel and DC who will change your perspective about Muslims. As superhero and comic fans are excited about the debut performance of Kamala Khan on Disney+, it is important to take note of other Muslim superheroes in the Marvel and DC universes, as there are more than you would expect. Representation is a crucial element in any form of media, especially the ones which can be influential to people of all age groups. Given the current state of the world, kids, teens, and adults need to see representation, especially of suppressed minorities, on their screens. In this video, we will explore the 9 superheroes that are nothing like the world expects them to be. Let's begin, shall we? Number 1. Kamala Khan. Kamala Khan was born in Jersey City and was the daughter of Yusuf Khan and Maniba Khan, who moved to the United States from Pakistan. She lived the typical South Asian life and was teased and bullied by her schoolmates for having nerdy interests and incredibly strict parents. Eventually, one night, she went against her parents' rule to attend a party, and on her way back home, her city, along with Kamala, was blanketed in the pterogen mists, which was a mutagenic substance. After a vision, Kamala woke up to find herself transformed into the younger version of her favorite superhero, Captain Marvel, wearing her Ms. Marvel costume. Kamala, aka Ms. Marvel, was now a polymorph which granted her certain abilities that included elongation, size alterations, healing power, and even appearance alteration. She has some pieces of equipment, which include but are not limited to her biokinetic polymer suit, which increases elasticity. She also has a locator pendant, which was gifted to her by Captain Marvel. Much like Captain Marvel, Ms. Marvel is an incredibly strong superhero and a great representation of the South Asian community. This character made her first appearance in the 1977 comic Ms. Marvel #1, which was created by Jerry Conway and John Buscema. Ms. Marvel now has her show on Disney+, which accurately represents the struggles and life of Kamala Khan, along with several other Muslims in America, and is played by Iman Vellani. We can hope that after the success of Kamala Khan, we will be introduced to more such superheroes in the coming years because they surely have very interesting origins and powers. Number 2. KAREEM the Red Dagger. Before we go forward, please subscribe to us. Your small click will help us in a big way to create more videos. Let's continue. KAREEM and his family were originally from Badan in Pakistan but stayed with his grandmother in Karachi while studying for his university entrance exams. KAREEM was a selfless hero, and at night, he would protect the people of Pakistan as the masked hero known as the Red Dagger. Eventually, he participated in a student exchange program, where he attended Coles Academic High School in Jersey City, New Jersey, and lived with the Khan family, which included Kamala, her brother, and her parents, to earn credits for his college applications. While it was important for him to protect his people, his family's name and reputation also mattered a great deal to KAREEM. He possessed the ability of incredible marksmanship, which meant perfect aim at throwing weapons at his enemies or the people who did wrong, and his choice of weapon was a throwing knife. He appeared in a total of 10 comics, most of which included Ms. Marvel comics. Anyone who is a fan of Ms. Marvel or Red Dagger is looking forward to his appearance in the Ms. Marvel show, where the character will be played by Aramis Knight. KAREEM and Kamala are known to have a complicated relationship, just as most teenagers do, but this also gives Disney and the Marvel Cinematic Universe to explore another young superhero and carve his future into the franchise. Number 3. Sooraya Qadir. Although Sooraya Qadir was born in Afghanistan, she had a tragic past because, as a child, she was kidnapped and sold into slavery until she was rescued by Wolverine and Phantom X. After this, she was sent to the Indian X Corporation base in Mumbai, where she hid from the X-Men by turning into sand and spreading herself around the complex. Someone sensed her presence and telepathically convinced her to reveal herself, which is when Sooraya announced her presence by speaking a single word, Tarab, which means dust in Arabic. She was ultimately enrolled at the Xavier Institute in New York, where she had a difficult time adjusting because of her shy and reserved demeanor. Despite the challenges she faced with the other mutants, Dust stayed true to her faith and was an extremely powerful superhero with abilities that made her stand out. She was a mutant who had a sand form and had the ability to convert herself into a destructive sandblast. With enough telepathic control, she can then move at a high velocity and resembles a sand storm, whose effect is strong enough to destroy steel and rip someone's flesh. She was also considered a general threat by the Office of National Emergency. Other than these powers, she is also multilingual, being fluent in both Arabic and English. As her character is traditionally Muslim, she chooses to observe the Islamic hijab. And one can only hope that we get to see this character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, considering Dust might be stronger than Sandman. Number 4. Khalid Nassour or Dr. Fate. Dr. Fate or Khalid Nassour was the first Muslim character to headline a solo series in the DC Universe. This character was created by writer Paul Levitz and artist Sonny Liu in hopes of emphasizing diversity and regenerating Dr. Fate's character in a new direction after he originally debuted in Aquaman, Convergence #2 in the year 2015 before featuring in his own Dr. Fate series. Khalid was the grandnephew of Kent Nelson and a medical student of both Egyptian and white American descent whose pharaoh lineage and contact with deities designated him as the next successor of Dr. Fate. His series ran for 18 issues from June 2015 to November 2016. This series revolves around Khalid's origin story and his coming to terms with his destiny to oppose the dark god Anubis. He was thrust into conflict with Anubis, and he eventually embraced his destiny, defeating Anubis and becoming the new Dr. Fate. Originally, Dr. Fate was considered not as powerful and was portrayed as an undeveloped sorcerer. Later portrayals of this character in the Justice League Dark elevated his skills under the guidance of Kent Nelson, whose lessons turned Khalid into a formidable sorcerer and is described to be among the most powerful sorcerers on Earth. He is also exceptionally knowledgeable when it comes to the occult and his understanding of the entire universe. Number 5. FAIZA HUSSAIN. Dr. FAIZA HUSSAIN was later given the codename Excalibur and was created by Paul Cornell and Leonard Kirk. She first appeared in the Captain Britain comic in the year 2008. She was also a physician and agent of Me-13, whose weapon of choice was the same name as her alias. FAIZA was also invited to Washington, D.C. by Steve Rogers to represent the United Kingdom as they piloted the New Heroic Age and was also invited by Queen Elizabeth II to knight individuals at Buckingham Palace. FAIZA has a lot of accomplishments in her arsenal, from saving Wolverine's life to freeing Paris from the Hydra invasion force after she joined the Champions of Europe. She was also recruited by Drive Strange and Valkyrie to be a part of a medical superhero team along with Night Nurse, Cardiac, and Mannequin. She got her powers after being hit by an alien weapon during the Skrull invasion of Earth. She awoke with new powers, some of which included psionic bio-deconstruction, which meant that she could disassemble and reassemble anything, and that included people as well. Along with that, she also possesses the power to paralyze people and heal them too. Although her superpowers were great, she was a strong individual without him too. She was a trained doctor and very good at her job while also being skilled in martial arts and swordsmanship. Her character has most commonly appeared in the Captain Britain comics, along with some Wolverine and Valkyrie comics too. Number 6. Bilal Asselah or NIGHTRUNNER. Bilal Asselah, or as he is more popularly known as NIGHTRUNNER, was a part of Batman Incorporated, a global organization that was funded by Bruce Wayne. Bilal was a student from the Paris commune of Clichy-sous Bois. One day, he and his best friend were caught in the crossfire, which led to the death of his best friend. To honor his memory, Bilal began his training in parkour and became the vigilante known as NIGHTRUNNER to prevent chaos and war in his city. Eventually, Batman recruited Bilal as Batman in Paris, and despite the trials and tribulations, along with self-doubt, Bilal fully accepted his new role as the protector of Paris, and as NIGHTRUNNER. Unlike most superheroes, Bilal didn't inherit any magical or scientific superpowers, but even without those, he was able to protect the people and the city of Paris by being exceptionally skilled at hand-to-hand combat, which he learned mainly from Batman. He taught himself parkour, which was very useful in terms of acrobatics. Besides being physically capable and fit, he was also skilled at computer organization, which assisted him in fighting crime. NIGHTRUNNER has made an appearance in the Batman comics, including Batman and Robin Volume No. 26, Batman Annual Volume No. 28, and Detective Comics Annual No. 12, where he made his debut. Although he isn't a major character in DC, we do hope we get to see him debut in future Batman movies, not only for representation but also as a self-made superhero that people can look up to. Number 7. Simon Baz. A former mechanic, street racer, and car thief, Simon Baz is now a Green Lantern for Sector 2814, which was one of 3600 sectors into which the Guardians of the Universe. This character was created by writer Jeff Johns, whose hometown and heritage were both an inspiration for this character, and artist Doug Mahnke. He was officially the first Middle Eastern American and Muslim member of the Green Lantern Corps, making him an important part of the DC and comic book universe. Growing up in Michigan, Simon and his sister Syra were mistreated and bullied because of their ethnicity. As a young adult, he got involved in street racing and eventually car theft. When Simon was fired from his job, he began stealing a car. When Simon was being questioned by authorities as a potential threat after being wrongly accused of terrorism, Hal Jordan and Sinestro's rings fused to form a malfunctioning Green Lantern power ring that finds Simon and then selects him as the new wielder, which frees him away from the authorities. At one point, Simon Baz was offered the opportunity to join the Justice League of America under the pretense that his criminal charges would be dropped. Simon Baz's character debut in Green Lantern number 0 was met with positive reviews, which praised Baz's characterization as well as the opportunities for social commentary provided by his ethnicity and background. Number 8. Monet Saint Croix. Monet Saint Croix was the second child of Ambassador Cartier Saint Croix, the former president of several corporations, and his wife Jamila Saint Croix, a descendant of Algerian royalty. Monet was born in Sarajevo, Bosnia. She grew up with an older brother and two younger twin sisters, but was Monet, her father's favorite child. Her older brother Marius overcame with a mutant power and eventually killed their mother, asking Monet to join him in conquering all dimensions, which she refused. This led to Marius trapping her in the form of a mute creature, Penance. As Penance, she became her own brother's slave as he would feed on her regularly, which left her scarred and suicidal for years to come. Soon after the formation of the mutant teen team Generation X, Penance was dropped onto the front lawn of the Massachusetts Academy by Gateway, who identified her as Penance, and she was brought in by Headmaster Banshee. Eventually, after the team parted ways, Monet joined Banshee's new venture, X-Corps, along with Husk and Jubilee. Monet possesses a wide range of powers which almost make her a perfect human being, even with everything that she had been through. She had superhuman physiology, which included superhuman strength, speed, reflexes, and intuitive ability. She also possessed the ability to fly and heal, along with telekinesis and telepathy. Penance never really needed a weapon of choice. Her powers and razor claws were more than enough to get her by. Number 9. Monica Chang. Monica Chang was an American soldier and devout Muslim who was saved from enemy forces by Nick Fury in Bosnia, after which she fell in love with him and married him. However, this marriage only lasted for just over 6 months, as Monica realized Fury had cheated on her several times, with all of her female friends and relatives. She went on to become an active member of the Avengers throughout all their missions until she was transferred to the New Ultimates, where she fought against her former team members. Fury eventually reassembled the Ultimates, and Monica joined the team, moving in with her and Fury's baby, Julius Chang. She eventually died at the hands of Norman Osborn, who had transformed into the Green Goblin. Monica never possessed any superpowers and was a normal human being. However, she was just as skilled as any other Black Widow out there. She was a trained SHIELD agent, which meant she was exceptional skills when it came to hand-to-hand combat and marksmanship. She was also a great leader, strategist, and trained spy, making her incredibly deadly to anyone who came in her way. While she was on a mission to track down Red Skull, she wore a Stark suit, which enhanced her strength and speed. She usually carries 2 pistols with her at all times. This character was most often found in the Ultimate Avengers comics, along with some Cataclysm comics. That's all for this video. What was your favorite hero from this list? Let us know in the comments, and stick around for more exciting content. Stay safe and have a good one.